Well, holy fucking shit. Who would have seen this coming? A challenger approaches. Smash Bros. Reference for the win. A new cartridge based console is coming out next year. A return of the golden age of gaming. No, this is no April Fool's joke. Classic gaming company Coleco, however you pronounce that, is making a comeback, which I've never heard of you. Maybe they're before my time. The company has announced a partnership with Retro Video Game Systems for a cartridge based console it's calling Coleco Chameleon. Now, what people in the comments were like, this is like ripped right off the, was it Genesis or Sega Saturn, something like that. Apparently, they bought the rights to it for the controllers and something like that, so it's like a combination of the Super Nintendo controller with the fucking Wii U Pro controller almost. Um, I don't know what to say, but it's described as a versatile new video game system that serves as a modern day take on the classic game console. It can play 8, 16, and 32-bit games, which Colco says it is a growing and popular genre. Will play cartridge games? No, really. That makes the first console about 2 decades to do that. In a statement, Retro Video Game Systems President Mike Kennedy said the console is a love letter to all the classic cartridges based on gaming systems that came before it. Except for the fact that people are ignoring the 3DS and the DS. They use cartridges, so even the fucking Vita, I believe, does. It will take gamers and their families back to a simpler time where games were all about great gameplay and fun factor. He added the original Vision console was released in 1982, so yeah, that was 8 years before I was born. Pricing was not announced, but writing on Twitter, developers said it will be significantly more affordable than the first go around. Be available to buy early 2016. Well, where do we begin? First of all, let's be honest. This is Ouya 2.0. No, it doesn't play random app crap, but it will ultimately fail. Do you really think that there's room in this industry, in the market, for 4 consoles? No. This will fail hard as fucking shit. Now, not to mention with the Nintendo NX handheld, theoretically, the handheld, coming next year, that alone will obliterate this. Like, there might be a few hipsters who buy this who are like, oh, back before even the NES, this type of thing. Oh, I remember this. But let's be honest here. What games do you have? You say the golden age of gaming with cartridges. Yeah, that was like NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega games like Sonic and whatnot. What do you really have game wise? I don't see this working. Maybe what you should do is bide your time, wait for Sony to go bankrupt, then introduce yourself as their replacement. But let's be brutally fucking honest. This thing there's no fucking way that this will ever be considered to be like, oh my goodness. Not as for the whole like cartridge based thing, it's like people are like, oh, it's returning after so and so long. If the NX indeed is, there was a rumor about like the home console side of it going back to being disc or not having a card reader or disc reader, and it could be like, oh, they're going back to cartridges. If Nintendo did do that, and then these guys kind of jump the gun, oh, I think that would kind of be pissing off some people. They'd be like, oh, you tried to beat Nintendo to the punch, and I really think, even though technically I don't know if Nintendo would win, but I think Nintendo should have a problem with that controller. It is the exact shape in the middle there of the Super Nintendo controller. Same exact layout, everything. Just black, not white. Or gray, I should say. Doesn't look like there's shoulder buttons though, so that's different. And it also looks like the Wii U Pro controller. So, I don't know. Either way, no. I don't want it. I don't care. You could say, oh, it's the golden age in gaming, but. And some people are like, well, maybe if it can play, those games from back in the day and bump them up to 1080p, 60 frames per second, or 4K, well, then that clearly goes up against it being affordable, wouldn't it? Either way, I don't care for this. I don't want it. I don't like it. I think it's random as fuck. And, I mean, it's no surprise to find me complaining, but really, can you really say you're excited for this? Really? Genuinely, if you are, I mean, good for you. Have fun buying another console. But for me, this is pointless. You don't need it. Either way, see you in the next video.